really think that the AEW's women's division, one of the things that I really love about what they've been doing lately, SPD, is they are telling stories with these characters.
Finally,
we're not just having so many these. We've I don't know how many times when we would have these conversations about women's wrestling in AEW, you would give these segments deletes, and your biggest pet peeve was always that it felt like these matches were just thrown together, and that there was no real consequences, there was no real investment. Why do I want one person to win over the other?
Yep.
We didn't really have any characters to get invested in, and I think that when you see haunting images like you see here,
I need to take this off. It's scary.
yeah, that she's freaking. It's creepy. Literally, like Abadon is creepy on social media. Her presentation, she's talk about somebody who's invested in their character. That is a very horrifying, weird, creepy person, and I love that, and I say that in the best way. She's doing
right.
Awesome
it's a compliment.
job. Yeah, she's doing an awesome job, and I think that it's even her portrayal of her character is allowing Shida, our champion, to really showcase characteristics in her and different abilities that she's never really had a chance to show before. I've always been a Shida fan as far as what she can do in the ring, but I've always felt like her championship has kind of felt a little off because she's never been a character that we could get invested in much. She's been a great wrestler, but we didn't really know much about Shida beyond being a wrestler. And having her go up against Abadon and kind of showing some fear and some trepidation, showing that those reactions that she's been showing to Abadon, I think it's humanized Shida in a different way, and it's given her more character motivations going forward. I love what they're doing with the AEW's women's division right now, SPD. And even though I will give this match itself a delete, I wasn't a huge fan of the in-ring work that happened in this match, and that's not to say that it didn't serve its purpose. Obviously this match was meant for Tesha to get fed to Abadon, and that she did. I got to give Tesha props. She took a beating like a champ, and Abadon successfully made herself established herself as a credible, even though she's only the number 5 contender in the rankings. I think all of us recognize there's an aura or a mystique around her that makes her instantaneously a champion contender.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting feud. It'll be a fun one to watch. The match itself is a delete also for me. It was, your 101 squash match type. But it was a fun little story after the match. And it was Shida hit Abadon straight in the head with a kendo stick. I was like, oh my gosh, that was hilarious. But it is so fitting and was so perfect when Abadon just sat up from it too. And I was like, okay.
And then she added her own little like twist to that move where she started like,
so
twitching
really
or whatever. It was
part.
awesome.
I really like that part. So it helped with that storytelling. Sadly, the women didn't get much love on this episode of Dynamite. It didn't strengthen the division the way we've been seeing the momentum go. And slowly, I feel like they lost a little momentum in it. There's so many great things that's been happening over the weeks.
I gotta ask, SPD. I gotta ask. I felt like they progressed this character. I feel like they progressed this storyline, and we know that Abadon's going to get a shot at Shida. So I have to kind of piggyback off your statement here and just ask you, is it because we didn't see Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker?
I said it last week.
Because I feel like that's the story. That's the story in the women's division that has you hooked.
That is definitely the story. And I said last week, and I stand by it, that Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa could be a co-headline main event at the next pay-per-view. If they do this build right and consistent and strong, Thunder Rosa needs to interrupt Britt on Dark. Thunder Rosa and Britt need to be on Dynamite. It just needs to go back and forth, and you're gonna get sucked in like we're sucked in for good reasons. I hope that this feud. It's nice to see feuds grow in the women's division, but I hope that the feud with Shida and Abadon doesn't overshine Thunder and Britt, because
it's really shocking for you to say that too, given that obviously Shida's our champion.
Yeah,
but I agree. I think the AEW women's title needs to be kind of on the back burner for the Britt Baker versus Thunder feud. I think that's the money feud.
Yeah.
I think that Thunder Rosa is this natural fiery baby face that all of us are behind. I have not met anyone who doesn't like her. I have not met anyone who doesn't like see the potential in Thunder Rosa. I have not met anyone who doesn't respect how she carries herself, how she fights for what she wants, and how she treats other people. I think that there's a lot of people who are easy, like they can recognize this is somebody I can root for inside and outside the ring.
Right.
And that's awesome. Right. So I think that paired against Britt Baker, who again, I've been saying it all year. I think that Britt Baker, I know obviously MJF gets a lot of love for being a phenomenal young heel, but I think that Britt Baker is every bit the heel that MJF is. I think that Britt Baker is every bit as good on the mic as anybody in this company. I think that early on she didn't necessarily know where she was going, but once she hit this DMD heel stride where she just leaned into this character, there's nobody in women's wrestling that I think is more equipped to be the backbone of a division than her.
I can't
she
agree
can do
more.
it all.
Yeah,
she can do it all. I think that Britt Baker is beautiful. She's smart. She's able to cut an incredibly intense promo. Her in-ring work is violent. She's smart in the ring. She knows how to play a crowd, and that's so important. She knows how to play a crowd. She knows how to manipulate emotions and feelings with her in-ring work. And if you pair her up against Thunder, who is that scrappy baby face, who fights with intensity and fire and passion in every single match she's in, I just think it's such a great pairing. And I think that the more that we have segments like that, the more we're going to be invested in the women's division. So I'm with you. I hope that Abadon and Shida have a great match.
Yep.
And I can see that, Shida being a monster slayer. She's beat Nyla Rose, and can she beat Abadon? Who knows? But to me, I think that Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker is the feud that AEW needs to be going on.